Hello, everyone. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. It would really help the channel out quite a bit. Thank you very much.
Strange Wills. Starring the distinguished Hollywood actor Warren William, and featuring William Conrad and Nina Clouden, with Howard Culver and an all-star Hollywood cast. Original music by Del Castillo.
Dead men's wills are often strange. We cannot attempt to understand them or try to find the answers. We can but tell the story.
This is Warren William bringing you the story Portsmouth Square. But first, a brief word from your announcer.
And now, Portsmouth Square, starring Warren William as the probate lawyer John Francis O'Connell.
The discovery of gold in the Sacramento Valley brought thousands of daring, reckless men to San Francisco and the gold fields. In their wake came the human vultures, thieves, gamblers, and adventurous women. These pillars of the underworld built the Barbary Coast, a section of San Francisco dedicated to depravity, vice, and glamour. Among the worst dives on Portsmouth Square, the heart of the Barbary Coast, was Horseshoe Harry's Emporium. Tall, handsome, and exceedingly wicked, Horseshoe Harry had the reputation of never turning down a dishonest dollar, nor a pretty woman. One night, a girl walked into Horseshoe Harry's Emporium. Her eyes were blue, her chin firm, and her dress obviously of Eastern cut. Her unexpected appearance threw the place into a furor. Pushing her way through the shouting, milling crowd, she finally reached one of the waiter girls whose short dress just met the top of her long black silk stocking.
I beg your pardon.
What you trying to do, start a riot?
Where can I find Mr. Horseshoe Harry?
What you want him for? You don't see girls unless by invitation. Anyway, if you're half as smart as you look, you better blow like a breeze before you get manhandled.
What's the matter, girlie? Ain't I good enough for you?
Please.
Come on, sugar. I got gold. Lots of gold.
How about me buying you drinks, sister? Champagne water right from Paris.
I ain't seen nothing as pretty as you since I left St. Joe. How about a kiss, sweetie?
I beg your pardon.
Listen to her. She begs her pardon.
Gotcha.
Break it up. What's going on here? All right, one side. Come on, you look one side. Let me through. Well, I'll be. Say, who are you?
Are you Mr. Horseshoe Harry?
The next one that laughs while Horseshoe Harry is talking to this lady gets a handful of knuckles. Now then, lady, maybe we can hear ourselves talk.
Oh, then you're Mr. Horseshoe Harry.
That's right. Now, what do you want to see me about?
Well, it's rather personal.
Personal, is it? Well, all right, we'll go to my office. How'll that be?
I'd appreciate it.
All right, you mugs, go back to your fun.
Okay, come on. Hey, boy.
All right. What can I do for you, miss?
Marcel. Lily Marcel.
Lily Marcel. That's a pretty name.
My brother and I arrived in San Francisco the day before yesterday. Last night, he disappeared.
Oh.
They told me down at the waterfront to see you. You might know where he is. Oh, please, Mr. Horseshoe. Have you shanghaied him?
Lily, it's this way with me. I break every rule in the book, all but one. Horseshoe Harry's never gone in for shanghaiing. You want to know why? Well, I'll tell you. Those men come back someday with only one thought in their minds, to kill the guy that sold them to some devil of a sea captain. And I figure the worry ain't worth the money, Lily.
How long does it take before they come back?
Oh, sometimes years, sometimes longer. Sometimes never.
I see. I see. Well, thank you, Mr. Horseshoe. You've been very kind and honest.
What are you going to do, Lily? Go back east?
Oh, I can't do that. I've got to wait here for him.
Well, it's none of my business, but what's a nice girl like you going to do out here? It's a rough place for a lady.
Well, when we came out here, my brother intended to go on to the gold fields, and I was going to teach music. I'm a pianist.
You a pianist?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, wait a minute. Maybe we can make a deal. I need a piano player right down here at the Emporium. A girl piano player on the Barbary... Why, you'd be sensational. A girl piano player in Horseshoe Harry's Emporium.
You honestly think they'd like classical music here?
I honestly don't, Lily, but who are they to know what they like or don't like? I'm still the guy that decides things around here. Well?
Well, Mr. Horseshoe Harry, it looks as though you've hired yourself a piano player. Heaven help me. And them.
And how did this clientele of Horseshoe Harry's Emporium take to the classics? At first they were skeptical, until they heard Lily play. Her talent was unquestioned, her interpretation of the masters unexcelled. In a short space of time, Horseshoe Harry's Emporium became the most popular spot on Portsmouth Square, the most famous on the entire Barbary Coast. On one occasion, Horseshoe Harry, standing alongside the piano, held up his hand, and that meant silence. Harry had something to say.
Listen, folks, I got a surprise for you.
Well, what is it, Horseshoe?
Today, I sent one of them newfangled things they call cablegrams to a man in Berlin, Germany. There's a man who lives there by the name of Carl Beckstein. He makes pianos. And I ordered the finest piano that money can buy. I told him to make me the finest piano in the whole world. Yes, sir, nothing's too good for our Lily.
Oh, thank you, Harry. Thank you so much.
I mean it, Lily. Nothing's too good for you. Not even the finest piano in the world.
Nearly a year later, Carl Beckstein was putting the finishing touches on the finest concert piano he had ever made. As he polished its dark mahogany surface, he wondered about this new city in America called San Francisco, this wild, desolate place filled with savage Indians, where the streets were paved with gold. What would these people be doing with his finest piano? And as he wondered...
Beckstein! Beckstein, it is I, Richard Wilhelm Wagner, come to see you.
Oh, it is you, Herr Wagner. Welcome, welcome.
We have come to see this marvelous piano car.
We, Herr Wagner.
Yeah, the other two will be here in just a moment.
The other two?
Yeah, Anton Rubinstein and that plagiarist of good music, Franz Liszt.
You call Herr Liszt a plagiarist? Oh, he should hear you talk, Herr Wagner.
Tell him to his face. He has not one original note in his big fat head.
But what about his compositions and his operas?
Do you know why I had you put drawers on the last piano you made for me, Herr Beckstein? Drawers that I can lock?
Nein, Herr Wagner.
Because now he can't steal any more of my music. He's got to write his own. The thief.
Oh, I'm being called a thief again, eh? To think that I would steal Wagner's music. Funeral music.
You see, Beckstein, already he knows what I think of him.
Welcome, Herr Liszt and Herr Rubinstein. My little workshop is greatly honored.
I have come all the way from Moskva, Karl, to see your new piano. News travels fast.
If you gentlemen will follow me.
There, magnificent.
Es ist wunderbar, Beckstein, sehr wunderbar.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to have this piano in my conservatory in Russia. May I play it, gentlemen?
Oh, who would deny that right to the greatest pianist in the world? Of course, my dear friend Anton. That is, of course, if this other so-called composer doesn't object.
All right, you can laugh, Wagner. But here is one of Liszt's compositions that will live forever.
Anton Rubinstein, you are a genius. I envy you with my whole heart and soul.
I couldn't make a better speech if I tried, Anton.
A worthy piano, Karl. Worthy of the great name of Beckstein. And to think this piano is leaving Europe.
America. The New World. It's unbelievable they should order such a wonderful instrument.
Why can't the three of us give Beckstein's masterpiece a parting tribute?
Now, what crazy idea have you got in your head, Franz?
Let's all sign our names on the sounding board. You, Richard Wagner, a German. Anton Rubinstein, Russian. I, Franz Liszt, a Hungarian. 3 individuals, 3 races, living harmoniously together in our world of music.
The first good idea you've ever had, Franz Liszt. Yes, we 3 will sign our names as a challenge to all those who do not believe in the brotherhood of man. Herr Beckstein, get pen and ink. Let me be the first to sign.
Part 2 of Portsmouth Square, written by Ken Crepine and directed by Robert Webster Light, will continue in just a moment. First, here is a word from your announcer. Now back to Act Two of the Strange Will story, Portsmouth Square, starring Warren William as John Francis O'Connell.
The piano, the finest piano in the world, left Berlin the next day on its journey to America. When Horseshoe Harry received notice that the piano was finally on its way, it called for a celebration, a private celebration over a late supper. After the dishes had been cleared away in Harry's apartment over the Emporium, he sat back, lit a cigar, and looked at Lily. Harry was happy and hopeful.
Well, Lily, it's coming.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
Lily, you've been here almost a year. Any regrets?
2 of them, Harry.
Huh?
Just 2.
What are they?
One, that my brother hasn't come back yet.
Oh, he could come back any day now, Lily. You know that. What's the other?
Well, I regret that I didn't meet you sooner. Much sooner.
Even though I'm a scoundrel?
Oh, I know better than that.
Ah, Lily, you made me very happy.
You know, Harry, you're not very observant, or you would have noticed before.
Huh? Notice what?
That I'm very happy, too. You see, I'm in love with you, Harry. Very much in love.
And finally, when the concert grand ended its tortuous journey that took it through terrifying blizzards and sun-baked desert on its way to California, Harry decided to cast reason to the 4 winds and enter upon the biggest gamble of his career. He rented the Princess Theater on Nob Hill for an evening of musical entertainment and culture. He placarded the city with garish signs announcing the occasion. Surprisingly enough, the night of the concert, Nob Hill society packed the theater, not only to see this marvelous piano, but to hear Lily, the girl who caused such a sensation on the Barbary Coast. Harry arrived at the concert with his shirt front ablaze with diamond studs. A huge diamond horseshoe adorned his cravat. He swaggered in and took his seat in the 3rd row, completely ignoring the hushed whispers, oblivious to the knowing glances that passed from person to person. Finally, the curtain rose, and Lily, charming and beautifully gowned, began to play. Lily was a symphony of grace and motion. She had picked for her first number Mendelssohn's magnificent Rondo Capriccioso. The touch was strong, forceful. Here was a young American artist knocking at the door of genius, one that even Wagner, Liszt, and Rubinstein would have applauded. The audience listened, spellbound and entranced. During the intermission, a young couple sitting just behind Harry were talking. Harry couldn't help but overhear what they were saying.
Isn't it a shame that a girl as beautiful and talented as she has to stay on that wicked Barbary coast?
Oh, she doesn't have to stay there. They say she's in love with that horrible character who calls himself Horseshoe Harry.
Doesn't he realize that he's ruining her life, her career, by associating with her? No one respectable will have anything to do with her.
Well, I've heard he locks her up at night. Would kill any man who looks at her.
Oh, that man, that horrible egotist. Just who does he think he is?
As Lily came back on the stage for her next number, Horseshoe Harry walked slowly out of the theater. For the first time in his life, he felt ashamed. He walked slowly back to Portsmouth Square. He wanted to be alone. There were things to think over, decisions to make. Finally, when Lily returned, fresh from her conquest of Nob Hill, Harry called her into his office. He knew now what he had to do, and it wasn't easy.
Harry, what happened? Why did you leave the theater before...
I came home, back to the Barbary Coast where I belong.
Well, didn't I make you proud, Harry?
You were wonderful, Lily, marvelous. That's what I want to talk to you about.
How wonderful I am to you?
Lily, I'm going to send you away.
Send me away? But what have I done?
One day you'll be a great artist, Lily. You can never really belong to just me. You belong to all of us, to the world.
But I'd rather belong just to you.
I'm going to send you to New York and later to Europe. You're going to have the finest musical education money can buy.
What's wrong tonight? What's happened? I'd hoped that after the concert... Well, I'd rather hoped we'd be getting...
Lily, I've always been honest with you, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Well, then, I want to tell you now that we can never be married.
Never be married? I don't understand.
I got a wife back east. I'm already married. Now do you understand?
Oh, Harry. You should have told me.
Now do you see why you have to go away?
Very well, then, Harry. I'll go. I'll be ready to leave in the morning.
And so it was that Lily Marcel went out of Horseshoe Harry's life, if not his heart. Finally, 6 years later, after her fame as a concert pianist was worldwide, Harry received his last letter from her. She told him that she intended to be married. Upon hearing the news, Harry sold his emporium and retired into seclusion. He kept only the piano. His link between a colorful past and a bleak future. Years later, his money gone, he was forced to offer even his piano for sale. Accordingly, he made arrangements to have it sold at auction in San Francisco. The night of the sale, Horseshoe Harry arrived at the auction rooms early. He wanted to have a last few minutes alone with his concert grand. He entered the room and walked slowly over to where it stood.
Goodbye, my friend. You remember the night we went to Nob Hill? You were wonderful, Lily and you. Lily and you. How the people cheered and applauded. I remember. I can remember the tune. It went like this.
May I play it for you again, Harry?
Huh? Lily, you.
Harry. Harry. Oh, my darling.
You, here, what are you doing here?
I came to buy our piano, Harry. The finest piano in the whole world. Remember?
To buy our piano?
Yes, I'm going to take it home. Our home, Harry.
But you wrote me a letter. You said you were going to be married.
Can't a lady change her mind? Especially if she finds out that there's only one man that she can ever really love.
Only one man?
A lovable old liar who told her he had a wife.
Then you know, Lily?
Yes, I know. I read the deed you signed when you sold the Emporium. It said, Horseshoe Harry, a bachelor.
Warren William will be back in just a moment to tell you the rest of the story about Portsmouth Square. First, here is a brief message from your announcer. And now back to Portsmouth Square with Warren William as John Francis O'Connell.
I feel certain that somewhere in that Valhalla of all good musicians, Lily Marcel is an honored guest in the illustrious family of famous artists and composers. And somehow I feel that her great talent did not end with her death, but lives on, endless as time, as universal as the firmament. And standing by her side, watching her fingers as they glide over the celestial keyboard, will be the man who was responsible for her great success. That unforgettable and lovable character who brought class and the classics to the Barbary Coast, Horseshoe Harry. Next week, I have a story to tell you of high adventure and death in faraway India. Colonel Beatty, one of the world's foremost mountain climbers, had twice in his lifetime attempted to scale the mighty, unconquerable Mount Everest, but failure ended both attempts. Dying, he made a will, leaving two things to his only son, Philip: his fortune and a flag, a torn, weather-beaten flag that he asked his son to plant atop the world's highest mountain. Philip Beatty took the challenge. For one of the most daring, adventurous, and romantic strange-will stories in our entire series, listen to High Conquest. This is Warren William, inviting you to be with us again next week.
The Baldwin piano on this program was played by the brilliant and celebrated concert pianist Amparo Iturbi. This is a Teleways feature produced in Hollywood. Names, places, and events have all been changed so that no reflection can fall on any person or persons, living or dead.